In the last video, we took a look at how to create this Braam effect using some brass and some percussion. Now, I just want to show you how to take this a step further by adding some harmonization on the horn parts, and then how to take this philosophy across into the strings and enhance this Braam with some extra tonal quality, plus by adding in some choirs to enhance it as well. Now, listening back to these horns, it might be interesting to add in some harmony on some of these horn lines. So this line here that's just playing the C note, let's harmonize this. So for all these, I want this to start on the fifth of that, which is the G. So B. And then this will step up. And maybe here. And then resolve to the higher C. So B. Check this out, just adding some extra interest to this Braam effect. Awesome. It's just creating some extra tension by giving this rising effect with the harmonization of the parts. Now let's take that same principle across to the strings. So the strings are going to help reinforce this brass section. The brass is playing quite low, but these strings are going to add that extra higher dimension to it, or just fill out the frequency spectrum to complement it. Let's start off with the violins. Now these, I want to change the articulation to a staccato patch. So on the articulation, this part where it's playing the notes, I want to have sustained notes and then staccato on the end. So it'll be and then to a sustained part. So let's record this in. And I just want to record in a pass of some modulation to that as well. That's sounding pretty good. Now let's move on to the second violins. With these second violins, they're going to use the same sort of harmonization that I applied with the horns. So it'll be so let's record this in. Just go in, quantize the parts, and record in a second pass with the mod wheel data. And again, that's using articulation switching, playing the staccato into the last note with the sustain. Now onto the violas. Now these violas are just going to remain on the C, but just lower down than the first and second violins. And let's record this in, and this time I'm going to record in the mod wheel data as I recorded in, so I don't have to do the second pass. Just go in again and change the timings. I think that one is a bit early. You can see that these need to come in. Awesome. Then on to the cellos. And these are also going to remain on C, but an octave lower than the violas. Now, on these cellos, I want to use a different articulation, not the staccato. Instead, I want to use a Bartok playing style. Now, on this instrument, to get to the Bartok, first I need to choose the pizzicato articulation. But on this instrument, when I move the mod wheel down to about halfway, I get the Bartok articulation. So here's it at full mod. And then down to halfway. So you can hear it's quite a hard sound that's going to work perfect for these hits. And then for that last note, that can go back to sustain. So it'll be like this. Let me check why that's not picking up the... There we go. Awesome. And next, onto the basses. Now these I want even lower than the cellos. It's going to be playing the same octave, then repeated down one lower. And this I also want to be playing in the Bartok style. So let's pick this up. Awesome. And then it'll also end off going to a sustain note. So let's add that in. And let's try record this and see how it works. Awesome. Just double check the quantization. Just pull that in. Can be slightly ahead. And I think these need to go in a bit as well. Now that's sounding really good, with the brass and violins playing out the tonal quality of the Braams and then being complemented by these big percussion hits. Now, another element that is really cool to add in are some choirs, just to give some extra ethereal quality to this cinematic epic production, and especially on these end hits. So let's go down to the choirs. And let's just jump back to where they can be playing in. And with these, I just want to be playing quite high up with the boys' choir. It'll be playing a C minor chord, then down to the A flat, then to a B flat sus2 to create some tension, and it will resolve back to the C minor. So my playing's not going to be too great, but I can always go back in and quantize it later. So here we go. There's a bit of some bum notes in there. So let's just go in and just fix that. So that's correct. Let's fix those notes. And and this is going to be the B flat sus. And just fix up the tails of those notes. And then just record in some modulation wheel data for some extra dynamics and expression. And finally, just shorten these first two notes just so it matches up with the staccato feel of the other instruments that are happening in the pass. That's really sounding good now, really giving a great Braam effect. Let's just play through a bit back just so you get this in the whole context. Very cool. Just giving some great impacts and build up to that release. In the next video, let's take a look at how to end this off. And how we're going to do this is we're going to reiterate the theme with an emotive piano. So it's pretty much similar to how we started. We began with an emotive piano hinting at the theme, then it went into the theme, and we're going to end off by reiterating that theme again by going back down to the ambient piano piece. Catch you in the next video.